All right. Are we in? Are we in? Is this live? Are we live? Should be getting live here. Let's give the camera a second to catch up. We'll give everyone an opportunity to get in here so we can get started. Welcome all. Welcome everyone who's joining me for another Tuesday night episode. I hope you guys are having a lot of fun. I hope you guys are in for a great Tuesday. We got some stuff we're going to talk about, and I can't wait to get into it with everyone. I'll give some people a chance to stroll on in here before we get into it. This is a little bit of a new one. I'm going to pull up the notes that I have here. Just give you guys a quick rundown of what the show is going to be. This is going to be a mixture of some fun topics as well as some very, very, very serious topics. So we're going to get into all of that. We're going to get into, obviously, Sydney Sweeney is leading the way today. I know that if you're watching this, you've probably seen the insanely stupid discourse, dialogue, whatever you want to call it, surrounding Sydney Sweeney and idiots detached from reality, accusing her of being pro-eugenics, pro-Nazi. And I got to say, everyone who seems to hate Sydney Sweeney and accusing her of pushing Nazi propaganda, they all seem to be quite ugly and not easy on the eyes, but we'll get into all that. So we'll let people scroll in here for a few more minutes before we get into it. So the topics that we're going to go through today, we're going to start with Sydney Sweeney. That's going to be block one. Block one will be all about Sydney Sweeney. I'm going to show you guys some videos. I'm going to show you guys some backlash. You're going to get to see a ton of different stuff. And quite frankly, you're not going to believe some of the videos I'm going to show you, what some people are saying about Sydney Sweeney. It's mind-boggling, as well as we're going to go over, are the wokes actually winning? Or are smart people like you guys watching this, are they the people winning? Have the good guys won the war? We're going to get into that. Block two, we're going to go over the shooting in New York City at NFL headquarters. We're going to go over kind of who it was, what we know, what this really means about protecting yourself. And we're going to go over one of the dumbest tweets I've ever seen in my life, courtesy of Skip Bayless. Let me make sure that tweet is actually still up. I'd be shocked if it was, but we will see if it is. Looks like it is still up. That is absolutely bonkers to me. And then after we go through that, we're going to get into the Cincy attack, the idiot cop, the police chief who was more angry that two white people got beat to a pulp, almost got beat to death by a mob of black people. She was more angry at people who shared the video than the actual people who carried out the attack themselves. We're going to get into that. And then we're going to get into some serious stuff as well. I'm going to talk about the latest updates out of the war in Israel. There are some heartbreaking videos. President Trump has now talked that has now said he does believe that the people, the children in Gaza are starving, something that other people, including members of our own government, don't want to talk about. We'll get into the Anti-Heroes latest podcast on Tim Kennedy. We're going to get into a cool report about whether or not aliens are going to be attacking the Earth in November. So we'll see. Trump roasted the media. Trump also talked about what he thinks happened when he was almost assassinated. And then, yes, we are going to get into my haircut. We are going to get into my haircut. You guys will be able to sound off on my haircut. You guys will be able to tell me what you actually think about it. No, I won't be offended no matter what you guys say. So anyways, if you got questions, you know the deal. Send them in the chat. Send your super chats. I'll get to any questions I can. As always, we'll do the questions during blocks. I'm already seeing some chatter about my haircut. Listen, I don't mind people laughing at me. I don't mind having fun at my own expense. I actually don't think it looks that bad. I have to be in Vegas in a couple weeks. It's going to be incredibly hot. I like the fact that I got it shaved down to the sides, a little bit longer up on top, and that should make it comfortable in the heat. Okay, this is, I guess we'll lead with this. So we'll get into the Sydney Sweeney stuff right now. We've given everyone 5 minutes to get in here. So Joe Saunders says, sorry, Sydney, just came into my reality. So still not sure who this person is. Take me to school. All right. So Sydney Sweeney, for those of you who might never have heard of her before this all blew up in the media, let's go to her Instagram account. You guys will be able to get an idea of who Sydney Sweeney is. Many of you will obviously recognize her. I'll share this on the screen. She is a very, very popular actress, model, I guess you can also say. So let me see if I can throw this up here. So this is Sydney Sweeney. You can see she's got 25 million followers. This is for a boxing movie. This is her with her dog. This is, she's an all-American, blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress. She's been in some huge movies. There's her on a bicycle. She's been in some absolutely huge movies. She's been in Euphoria, Anyone But You. She's a talented young actress. I actually don't even know how old she is. I'm pretty sure she's relatively young. She's 27, so she's several years younger than I am at this point. But as you can see, good-looking, blonde, all-American woman. So that's who Sydney Sweeney is. That's where we kind of start our journey tonight. Well, why is Sydney Sweeney in the news? Why is Sydney Sweeney all of a sudden the biggest story here in America? What happened that caused this situation to pop off in the fact? Well, that's a great question. The answer is shockingly simple. And the answer is this. Sydney Sweeney appeared. I'm going to pull this up here. Sydney Sweeney appeared in an ad campaign for American Eagle. Now, the video you're going to see here comes from Page Six. Page Six is, of course, a news outlet. I think they're technically, don't quote me on this, I think they're technically under the umbrella of the New York Post. So she appears in an ad campaign. This video right here is the one that has sent everyone through the roof, has pissed everyone off, has driven people to absolute lunacy. So let's go ahead and watch it together right here.
Passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has her genes.
So see what she, okay, well, let's actually watch this one. This one's next. Same ad.
Sydney Sweeney has her genes.
So that's a little bit of a taste. So American Eagle, and we're going to get into their stock, as a company that is failing dramatically at the moment. I mean, their stock price is down huge over the past year. So they're like, hey, we need an injection of life. We need to do something. We need to get people back on our side. So some genius marketing person in the marketing department says, you know what? Sydney Sweeney, she's kind of the it girl in Hollywood right now. Let's throw her in blue jeans and a blue jean jacket. Let's have her talk on screen, and people will love it. And to be fair, people did love it. And I also want to show this. This isn't the first time an ad like this has ever happened. In fact, it previously happened with Brooke Shields on Calvin Klein. This is the original ad. Let's watch this.
Life lies hidden in the genetic code. Genes are fundamental in determining the characteristics of an individual and passing on these characteristics to succeeding generations. Occasionally, certain conditions produce a structural change in the gene, which will bring about the process of evolution.
This is over 40 years old.
This may occur in one or more of the following ways. Firstly, by selective mating, in which a single gene type proves superior in transmitting its genes to future generations. Secondly, by gene drift, in which certain genes may fade away while other genes persist. And finally, by natural selection, which filters out those genes better equipped than others to endure in the environment. This may result in the origin of an entirely new species, which brings us to Calvin's and the survival of the fittest.
All right, so that's actually the source material for those of you who haven't seen that before. That is over 40 years old. Stop and think about that. So I'm just going to throw this up real quick. This will show you what else. And guys, please make sure to like the video. It really helps boost it in the algorithm. Please also obviously subscribe. Huge help. So they did some more ads. I'll just scroll through them. You can see them here. She's holding the camera. There's her with a car, her with a dog, her in a blue jean jacket, her in another blue jean jacket. I think we all get the point. There you go. There's another one in her in a blue jean jacket. It's pretty obvious what the marketing campaign here is. Now, I want you guys to tell me in the comments right now if you think this is a good ad or a bad ad. Let me know if you think that putting Sydney Sweeney in blue jeans, in a blue jean jacket, is a smart idea or a dumb idea. My guess is that anyone with an ounce of common sense understands this is a good idea. Unfortunately, not everyone is smart. And now, believe it or not, people are accusing Sydney Sweeney of being a Nazi. They are accusing her of pushing eugenics. They are accusing her of being a white supremacist. They hate her. They hate her for a lot of reasons. One of which, let's just cut to the chase, is she's attractive. And all the people that are on social media screaming about her look like they haven't seen sunlight in 6 to 8 weeks, most of whom are also overweight. These are facts. You can disagree with them if you want, but trust me, I've watched, and I'm going to show you some videos here of who's going after her. And there's also some truth. They don't like her because she's white. Let's just call it what it is. If she were a minority 400-pound woman and they put her in these outfits, every social justice woke loser on the internet would be loving this. But that's not what's happening, because she's an attractive white chick with blonde hair, with blue eyes, who is the starlet of Hollywood at the moment. So they hate her. Nobody hates women more than other women. This is a fact. Again, you can disagree with it. You can agree with it. These are the facts. I'm just here to tell them to you. The Stone Sailor says, did Tim Kennedy save her life in Iraq too? Maybe that will be in Tim's upcoming book. We'll learn about that. So check out some of these tweets. You're not going to believe this. So I put this up on Outkick.com. Let's just read through some of these. These are the reactions, the real reactions people are having right now to Sydney Sweeney. Oh, haha, like jeans. I get it. She had good genes, like she has good genes. Ha, like in a Nazi way. Accusing her of being a Nazi. That got deleted. Another Nazi reference. They're comparing her to Hitler. The Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad campaign is just modern day Nazi propaganda. Like, it's wild how blatant it is. Things are weird right now, man. Blue-eyed blonde woman whose taglines are wordplays of jeans and jeans. Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. My jeans are blue. LMAO stands for laughing my ass off. Just straight up bald-faced Nazis. Again, more Nazis. Honey, look, Sydney Sweeney and American Eagle are doing Nazi Aryan eugenics shit. Guys, these are real tweets you are seeing right now. I'm not making this up. All right, here we go. There's no way the Sydney Sweeney ad isn't a Nazi dog whistle. The only way Sydney Sweeney would be okay with doing an ad like this is if she was a Nazi. This is blatant white supremacist eugenics propaganda. Sydney Sweeney is a white supremacist perfect tool, and she knows it. This woman is evil, and I've been saying it since the day she posted her MAGA family. That Sydney Sweeney ad is so bad, and she looks and sounds like a complete bozo. She's boring as it is, but not impressed that she chose to do some poorly disguised Nazi shit. So, I don't know. You tell me, good ad or not? They're accusing her of being a Nazi because she appeared in this ad. But wait, it gets better. Let's check out this bozo. Let's check out this truly idiotic person. I'm going to try to speed this up so you guys don't have to suffer through all of it. Let's watch what this absolute brain dead idiot had to say. Let's go ahead and watch this.
what does this American Eagle Sydney Sweeney Jeans campaign have to do with not just race, but soap and the current political climate? I'm Sayantani, an author of middle grade and YA books, which I mostly talk about on this app, but I'm also a professor of something called narrative medicine.
She's a professor at Columbia University, an Ivy League university. And this woman is about to tell you that not only is this tied to race, it's also tied to soap. You know that thing you use to wash your body so you don't smell terrible? Apparently, if you do that, congratulations, you're a racist.
So I teach a lot about race, health, and narrative. And that is exactly why this ad is in my particular wheelhouse and why I will be putting it on my syllabus in the fall. So now, as many wonderful creators on this app have pointed out, this Sydney Sweeney ad is really imbued with eugenic messaging. Now, what is eugenics? If you don't know, I would highly recommend watching the Eugenics Crusade from PBS, which I have on my syllabus almost every year. But in short, it is both pseudoscientific
absolute
and
insanity
notion that we can improve the human race. We can help natural selection along by certain pseudoscientific practices, one of which is positive eugenics. So the encouraging of reproduction among people who possess certain positive or desirable characteristics, and negative eugenics, which is the discouraging of reproduction or even the killing off of people with certain negative traits. Now, the question, of course, the moral question, of course, becomes who gets to decide whose traits are positive and whose traits are negative. Now, while we often talk about eugenics in the scope of race, I think it's really important to remember that eugenics is as much kind of a racialized, or it leans into as much racialized ideas of superiority as it does into ideas of ableism or kind of cis heteronormativity. Mental health, what was deemed criminal, is all also on this pile of undesirable traits. So if you want to know more about how positive eugenics happens, you need look no further.
Let's skip ahead because I can't take this.
Did those things to kind of the killing awesome day. Color will forcibly sterilize in a minute. Okay, so what does all this have to do with the American Eagle ad? Jean Kilbourne, who is a scholar of gender in advertising, tells us that ads just don't sell us products. They sell us notions of love, normalcy, sexuality, what families are supposed to look like, what bodies are supposed to look like. And so, it won't take anyone by surprise that in this ad, where the barely hidden juxtaposition is made between genes, the things we put on our bodies, and genes, G-E-N-E-S, the genetic structure of our bodies, those two ideas are conflated, that the actress hired for this ad, Sydney Sweeney, is not just blonde and blue-eyed, but makes a point of being blonde and blue-eyed, which she talks about in the ad parents.
See, they hate they hate her. They can't even hide it well. They hate her because she is attractive, blonde hair, blue eyes, and she's white. End of story. They hate her for it. And the fact that this person can go on TikTok, a communist Chinese-owned app that is not pro-America at all, and spin this garbage it's pure delusion. It's detached from reality. You cannot dislike these people enough. They hate everything about you. They hate everything about a regular person like Sydney Sweeney. And I can't stress this enough. If she was an obese, ugly woman, they'd be praising American Eagle for doing this ad. But because it's Sydney Sweeney, the face of women in Hollywood, who is built a certain way, we shall say, they are enraged by her.
Passing on traits like eye color, hair color. And a woman of color would not have been hired for this advertisement. That is a purposeful act. Why? Because eugenics is deeply tied to the pseudoscientific ideas of racialized superiority. The notion that some races are better than others.
Did you just hear what she said? They're trying to argue that Sydney Sweeney, again, is pushing the message of eugenics, which is that weaker races, I guess, should, and I'm not saying this is what these clowns are saying, should be eliminated. That Sydney Sweeney somehow must be for the elimination of people. It simply can't be that she's an attractive blonde woman that American Eagle wants to use to make money. That can't be the explanation. It must be that she's a Nazi. Again, you cannot dislike these people enough.
And we can prove this biologically and or genetically. This is, of course, complete nonsense. We are more alike genetically than we are unlike. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney's ad is really speaking to this political moment. I don't think it's a coincidence that this is also the same person who was involved in a kind of soap collaboration, making soap out of her bathwater, which I'm not even going to get into the ew of that. But remember, soap has historically been a really fraught racialized product because of the ways that darker skinned people are associated with race, pollution, all of those negative things, whereas whiteness is associated with cleanliness. All you have to do is Google racist soap ads to find.
So here we go. Now she's talking about how soap is racist. Get this woman off my screen. Get this woman off my screen immediately. That's one example of these people losing their minds because Sydney Sweeney was in a clothing ad and they're acting like she was goose stepping down the streets of Berlin in 1941. It is beyond dumb, but don't worry. It gets way, way, way better. Let's go to this video. go ahead and cue this one up for y'all. You think that was dumb? Wait until you get a load of this. It blows my mind that these people could possibly exist in our world, but they do. All right, let's play this.
Yep, that got me too. And I don't know why. Maybe because it's just so blatant. I keep thinking that people just are not gonna.
Did you all just hear that? Did you all just hear that? This woman is claiming that people will be killed in the streets, apparently because Sydney Sweeney was in an American Eagle advertisement. Yes, minorities will be hunted down and killed because Sydney Sweeney put on a pair of blue jeans. I want you guys to sound off in the comments right now. This is, I can't be the only one that finds this insane. This is unbelievable.
And I feel like they'll be like, oh no. Kind of like they are with. I see the same perpetual self-imposed victimhood. You know, I did a post about saying, hey, like, these are the action steps that we really need to see from the good whites, where I said I need protection.
I'm sorry. The good whites? The good whites. In what world is that not insanely racist? In what world is referring to people as, quote, the good whites, not the definition of racism? Imagine if I got on here and said the good Hispanics or the good blacks or the good Asians. Insert whatever group you want. The mob would be coming for me immediately. They're allowed to be insanely racist and face zero criticism for it. It's honestly disgusting, but let's continue.
Put my cash out. And she goes, well, would you just rather white women just not follow you at all anymore? Because and I'm like, yeah, definitely unfollow me. If you thought you being here and clicking a follow button was doing me a favor, same as that one guy, whatever his name was. Descendant of the oppressor. He's like, well, Lindsay still does a good job and I appreciate her work and labor, so I'm going to still follow her. No, definitely unfollow me. If you are any type of person, but especially a white woman who's coming to this platform thinking you're doing me a favor by clicking a follow button, leave now, immediately now. Because honey boo boo, not this person, I'm doing you a favor by showing up and calling you out.
I hope it comes out that that's parody. I hope it comes out that this is some high-level performance art, but I'm fearful that that's not going to be the case. I'm fearful that these people are actually that full of hate, that they are that full of anger and rage all over a clothing ad. Make it make sense to me. Let me know in the comments. Make it make sense to me. This is a clothing ad that featured Sydney Sweeney working on a classic American muscle car. This is a clothing ad that featured Sydney Sweeney making a dad's joke about jeans, G-E-N-E-S, versus jeans, J-E-A-N-S, the ones you put on your body. And somehow we're at the brink of all-out social chaos because American Eagle decided, hey, go get a hot chick from Hollywood, throw her in some jeans, and throw her on TV, and let's make a shitload of money. I don't mean to swear. You know me. It's a family show. But wait until you get a load of this. Let's go ahead and throw this up on the screen. So, headline, Sydney Sweeney's ad shows an unbridled culture shift toward whiteness. No, it doesn't. It's a cultural shift to where we're not going to celebrate people who are unhealthy. We're not going to celebrate people who live lifestyles you shouldn't. We're not going to celebrate people who don't work out, and we're not going to pretend that those are beauty standards. We're not going to live that way anymore. We did that for about the past 5 to 10 years, and people have had enough of it. We want to go back to the old days. We want to go back to when good-looking women were in beer commercials, were in clothing commercials, action movies, were out all the time. We had Red Dawn. That's what we're going back to. And you're not going to stop us no matter how hard you try. But let's go ahead and scroll down here. I'm going to highlight this for you. Back to the far-right Nazi stuff. I'm going to read this. It isn't just that far-right ideology is proliferating on the fringe. Our entire cultural ethos has moved further right, allowing for this sort of content. Young women are being radicalized through so-called clean skincare and healthy eating. Yeah, because what's wrong with keeping your skin clean and eating healthy? Why would we be against that? That doesn't make any sense. Internet slang once used exclusively by women-hating incels is mainstream. Someone wrote this and then I did publish on it. And people are unabashedly self-identifying as fascist on public platforms. An advertisement that so many are condemning as eugenic dog whistle fits into this movement. It's a clothing ad. It is a effing clothing ad. It is marketing at its most basic level. Take a good-looking person, put her in an ad. Women will want to be like her. Men will want to be with her. This is as simple as it gets, and everyone's turned it in to a rally at Nuremberg when Adolf Hitler was running Germany. Sweeney and American Eagle deserve much scrutiny over this. No, they don't. It's a clothing ad. It's a clothing ad. But so does our own crumbling and fractured American culture that made this all possible in the first place. Wrong on all counts. Wrong on all counts. There's nothing to apologize here for. Not one thing. Not one thing at all to apologize for. But again, it gets worse. Let's go ahead and watch this one. Let me get it paused here. All right, let's watch this. Here we go. Back to the Nazi propaganda.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial...
Hold on, let me rewind that. It's being compared to what?
Being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Despite that backlash, American Eagle stock has been soaring.
Well, so he's about to say American Eagle stock has been soaring. Is that true? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Let me throw this up on the screen. I got to hide the comments for a quick second. Do we all see the red circle? Okay. The red circle is when the ads came out. It's up over 15% from where it was, where that red circle is. So while everyone who has no friends, hates life, hates themselves, doesn't go outside, doesn't have anyone who wants to hang out with them, they're losing. They're emphatically losing because American Eagle, which is still not doing great, I'll say that. That's where it was when the ad came out. That's where it is now up top. You tell me, does that look like success to you? So let me go ahead and put up the ad here, and then I'm going to close my thoughts on this block. Get your questions in. Get your comments in. I'm going to read them soon here after I close up my thoughts here. Let me just throw this back up. All right, let's see if we got a good one. This is family appropriate enough, I suppose. Got to pull that down. All right. Let me be as clear as I possibly can for everybody who's looking at this. These people hate you. These people who are out complaining on the internet hate you. They're going to hate you today. They're going to hate you tomorrow. and they're going to hate you next week, and they're going to hate you the year after that. And there's nothing you can do to change that. You can apologize to them. I'll never apologize to them, but you could apologize to them. You can bend the knee. You can try to be their friend. You can try to give them everything they want. They're still going to hate you. They're going to hate you every step of the way. So as far as I'm concerned, there is 0 point in giving them one bit of satisfaction. Don't give them 1 inch. These people are scumbags. And I like the America where we celebrate successful people. And I like the America where we look at Sydney Sweeney and we say, yeah, got a bit of a girl next door vibe to her, talented actress, making a lot of money, very popular, doing well in life for a 27-year-old, doing well in life no matter what her age is. And all the losers off over here who hate themselves every morning when they get up and look in the mirror, why are we going to give them 1 inch? This is a fight for the existence of the world we want to live in. Do you want to live in a world where we have advertisements like this, or where obese people are in advertising? Do you want to live in a world where this is celebrated as the norm, or where the alphabet mafia decides what we're going to do and we have to walk on eggshells as not to offend them? Which world do you want to live in? I don't want to live in the second option. Sounds like hell. Sounds terrible. And the fact that we're here today and a simple advertisement for jeans with Sydney Sweeney has led to allegations of being a Nazi, it just goes to show these words don't mean anything anymore. There used to be a time when you said Nazi, everyone knew what that meant. Oh, yeah, you were an SS member. You were a high-ranking Nazi official. You're a member of the Nazi party in Germany, who we fought a world war against. We knew what it meant. And now, all you need to be a Nazi in America is to be an attractive, successful, predominantly white woman with blue eyes. And I've seen people claiming that the real subliminal messaging is that her initials are SS, Sydney Sweeney. And people think that this is such a complex conspiracy that she was hired to secretly represent the SS from the times of Nazi Germany. That's how dumb these people are. Now, you're watching this. It means you're probably pretty smart. At least I'd hope so. I know I've got a very smart audience. You cannot dislike these people enough. They hate your way of life. They hate this country. They hate successful people. They hate good-looking people, all of which is to say they hate me. Obviously, we'll start there. But they hate you too. And they hate what you like. They hate the fact we love college football. They hate the fact we love our history. They hate the fact that we love our military. They hate the fact we're proud of this country. So this is not just an attack on Sydney Sweeney. It's an attack on the American way of life. It's an attack on who we want to be as people. They want us to be every bit as miserable as they are. They want us to be every bit as pathetic as they are. So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, the good guys need to win. I consider myself a good guy. I consider everyone who's here a good guy. We cannot let these cowardly losers, these hideous people, win. Hideous on the inside and out. Most of them are probably uglier on the inside, which is a terrifying prospect because I know what they look like on the outside. And that in and of itself is brutal. So Sydney Sweeney didn't do anything wrong. American Eagle didn't do anything wrong. They have nothing to apologize for. In fact, I give them all the credit in the world. Seemed like some pretty cool ads to me. Seemed like someone who wanted to make some money, wanted to actually get some broad appeal. So that is the closing of the Sydney Sweeney block. Up next, we're going to get into the NYC shooting. the New York City shooting. But before we do, I'll throw some questions up on the screen, and we'll see if anyone had any good comments. So WSE Lack says, I will buy American Eagle now. I probably won't because I don't really wear what they sell, but I do support them. Here we go. William Gould. I'm with you, but I'm going out and buying all American Eagle this weekend, I swear. So there you go. There you go. I mean, more take my money, American Eagle jeans. Here we go. Obviously, these people are so predictable. It's all about her alleged being a conservative. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. What do we got here? I think she's doing great. I agree. All right, let's see. Downrange Publication says, I hope she sues them all. Yeah, if you're calling someone a Nazi and they're because they put on blue jeans, you should be sued. You should be sued out of existence. No question about it. What else we got? All right, we'll go into block 2. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's some funny comments I'm not going to throw up on the screen, but I did see them and I did laugh. All right, we'll go to this now. Did everyone see the shooting that happened in New York City yesterday? So on Monday. Let's go ahead and I'll throw this up here for you. The New York Post website, these ads are just, this is crazy. All right. Let me get this up on the screen for you here. So there was a tragic shooting. Multiple people were killed in New York City. It happened where the NFL headquarters are. There's another business in the building. We're going to get into it right now. And I'm going to talk about what I think about this, something that maybe a lot of people aren't talking about. But it says the blood-stained assault rifle used by gunman Shane Tamura during his deadly rampage inside a Midtown skyscraper Monday night is shown in shocking detail in photos obtained by the Post. The Palmetto State Armory M4 assault. Well, first off, it's not an assault rifle. Basic fact, an assault rifle has to have a selector switch. That's not my definition. That's the definition of the United States military. For those of you who don't know what that means, a selector switch means you can change the rate of fire on the weapon. You can go from semi-automatic to burst or fully automatic. Nobody, for the most part, unless you have the proper paperwork, is walking around with fully automatic rifles. It's just, or burst fire rifles. It's just not a thing. And so he killed an NYPD, 3 civilians with a .223 caliber equipped with a black scope, handguard, and shoulder swing. The AR-style gun retails for around $500 and was equipped. It says again, who wrote this? It says a high-capacity magazine. No, that's a 30-round magazine. It's a standard capacity. Photos show the green handguard of the rifle soaked in blood on the carpet in the 33rd floor office inside 345 Park Avenue, where the 27-year-old carried out the rush hour mass shooting. The NYPD found a loaded revolver, ammunition, magazines, and a rifle case in a black BMW that tomorrow double parked outside the Midtown skyscraper, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said at a press conference Monday night. So he actually had a concealed carry permit. You can see that photo right here from the New York Post. Yeah, it is a standard mag. I don't know why. We'll get into this now. I have to choose my words very carefully here because YouTube will nuke this video without a second thought if I don't. So this is the important part right here. Again, the ads on this website, it's just like, it's absolutely insane. It says the crazed gunman who killed 4 people in Monday's Manhattan massacre thanked a documentary on CTE brain injuries and listed off the names of several prominent neuroscientists in his apparent unaliving note. Shane Tamura, 27, had the rambling writing stashed in his wallet when he stormed the Midtown skyscraper at 345 Park Avenue, which is home to the NFL's corporate headquarters. The source said Tamura, who claimed he suffered from CTE, had scrawled frontline documentary on one of the pages, an apparent reference to the League of Denial. Doc that probed the links between the NFL and the brain injury linked to head trauma. The note also made mention of the Finura brothers, the 2 ESPN reporters who co-wrote the League of Denial. So what he's trying to claim here is that he had CTE or that he wants his brain studied for CTE. I don't know whether or not that's true. I think that they're going to probably figure that out. But here's the thing. Even if it is, doesn't give you the right to do what he did. Doesn't give you the right to take innocent life away from people. Absolutely not. And not only did he take innocent life away from people, you can check this out. This is one of the people, the heroic New York police officer, says the New York Police Department has identified the off-duty officer that was killed attempting to stop today's shooting in Midtown Manhattan. 36-year-old Didarul Islam, an immigrant from Bangladesh and 4-year veteran of the NYPD. Officer Islam is survived by his wife, who's currently 8 months pregnant, and 2 children. So this guy had 3 kids, had 3 children, 2 already here with us, 1 on the way. And he's now gone. He's gone because a piece of garbage took a weapon somewhere and started shooting people. It is beyond disgusting. It is beyond tragic. It is one of the grossest things you can ever do. And then he takes his own life. It is beyond words, the horror of this situation. But you know what else you can always count on? The media to royally screw it up. So saw what the shooter looked like. He looked obviously some mix of black, maybe a little Hispanic, maybe a little Middle Eastern. But you know what he wasn't? He wasn't white. But hold on, don't worry. CNN is here to take care of you because CNN wants you to know at the time, very possible it was a white shooter. Let's listen.
At any given time.
All right. So, Brian, stay with us. The former deputy director of the FBI, Andy McCabe, is with us as well. And Andy, I just want to ask you, you talk about a 44-story building, as Brian is reporting. And what John Miller just said, there were a few things that really stood out there. Among them that they do know what he looks like. Sunglasses, mustache, male, possibly white, and that they were already able to identify various parts of the building where they think he is right now from 911 calls and also possibly a video on those elevators, that they were able to move that quickly. And John said they're focused on various floors in the upper parts of the building. Now we don't know his status right now, if that's going to end up being where he is, but they have moved incredibly quickly.
So I don't know. Did you guys see the photo of him? Did he look white to you? Didn't look very white to me. And furthermore, it gets even better. I couldn't find the clip of this, but I was watching it when it happened. Some bozo went on CNN and claimed that he had a suppressed AR-15, something that is 1,000% not true. You saw a photo of the gun he had. He had no suppressor on it at all. Here's another fun fact for you all, which I'm sure most of you know if you're watching this. Suppressors don't make guns completely silent at all. That's not how that works. That is not how that works. You can still hear suppressed rifle shots, certainly at close range, certainly inside a building. So I don't know what they're doing over there at CNN. I don't know what they're cooking up or how they're getting their information or who they're getting it from, but it shouldn't surprise anybody that it ain't accurate. But as bad as you think that is, wait until you see this. This is from Skip Bayless. Do you all know who Skip Bayless is? He is a sportscaster, a pundit, a provocateur, a firebrand. He tweeted, "Thank God the New York City shooter apparently took the wrong bank of elevators and didn't make it to the NFL floors." He reportedly bizarrely blamed the NFL for what he believed to be a CTE suffered from playing high school football. He's literally saying, thank God people in the NFL, more people with the NFL didn't die. Innocent people still died, Skip. Innocent people lost their lives. Do their lives matter any less because they weren't working for the NFL? Do their lives matter any less because they weren't in the NFL offices? They still died. A New York City police officer was killed. Innocent people are now, their families are without them. Lives shattered, lives ruined, families shattered, friends networks shattered. I didn't even think that tweet was real when I first saw it. It is. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. And then let's get to this part. You guys are going to love this. Shannon Watts, who is a clown in her own right, gets on here, gets on Twitter Monday night after these tragic deaths and says civilians should not have access to semi-automatic rifles. Do you think there's any chance Shannon Watts has ever touched a semi-automatic rifle in her life? Do you think there's any chance she would know how to operate one? Any chance to begin with? I put that somewhere around 0%. 0. Just these ghouls are the most disgusting people out there. They don't get any grosser than that. They really don't. These families haven't even started the true grieving process, and Shannon Watts is politicizing it, making it about gun control. You want to know my opinion on gun control? I think just about every gun control law I've ever heard of is dumb. They don't work. You know how they don't work? Or how I know they don't work? Look at any area where they've taken the guns away. Chicago, New York, Los Angeles. List goes on and on. Go overseas. They got strict gun control all throughout South America, all throughout Asia, all throughout Africa. And they've got more bodies hitting the pavement than you can count. Now, some people will say, well, what about Europe? It is true, Europe has less gun violence. They also have way less guns. But that's really a distortion of reality. If you took out the big cities in America, where all of our gun crime is for the most part, we would be among the lowest in the world. Certainly lower than Europe and anywhere else. Our big cities, which are mostly Democrat run, have turned into war zones because the police aren't allowed to do their jobs. It ain't about the gun. It is not about the gun at all. I've owned guns my entire life. I've shot guns my entire life. And this situation, more than anything, is proof that you need to be able to defend yourself. Because even if the police respond as quickly as they can, it's still going to be yourself that is the first line of defense. It's always going to be you responsible for your own safety. I am a huge believer in the Second Amendment. I'm a huge believer in concealed carry. I'm a huge believer you should be allowed to own whatever gun you want. And if you plan on taking my guns from me, ain't going to happen. This is the United States of America. We have the right to defend ourselves. End of story. So Shannon Watts can go kick rocks. I'm not giving up my guns to anybody. And the fact you're watching this tells me you're not giving up your guns either. We do have a super chat that came in. Here we go. Marcos Villa, $9.99. Thank you very much, Marcos. Cheers, everyone. You're the man, David. Keep telling it how it is. Thank you, Marcos, very, very much. I appreciate that a ton. I'm trying to stay humble. I'm a humble guy, but I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. You guys have no idea how much the super chats go. Just this streaming software we're using is quite expensive. It is not cheap. Every super chat goes to help pay those bills, which is great. And I do appreciate it from all you guys. All right. Now we got a bunch of people in the comments arguing about guns. I enjoy some good gun debates. Learn how to defend yourself. Train to defend yourself. You are your first line of defense. Understand nobody is coming to save you in the seconds that you will determine your fate. And once you accept that and learn that, you will take that responsibility incredibly seriously. And if you need to start small with firearms you're comfortable with, do it. But don't find yourself in a situation that is going to lead to you being unprepared to defend yourself, which leads me to this story. This story is one of the most disgusting stories I have ever seen. And it is, I can't play the video because YouTube will take the video down. But this happened in Cincinnati. Let me throw this up on the screen. Did everyone see what happened in Cincinnati? There were two people, two white people, who were attacked by an angry, violent mob. That angry, violent mob beat them senseless horrifically. The footage is unbelievably disgusting. You can find it on Twitter, X. I cannot show it here. The video would get yanked in a heartbeat, but it's out there. But I'm going to read you a little bit of this. It says, police in Cincinnati are investigating a viral video that shows what appears to be a violent brawl in the downtown section of the city. The fight happened on Friday night between Elm and 4th Street, according to Fox 19 in Cincinnati. Several videos of the fight have made the round on social media. A man in a white t-shirt appears to be shoved to the ground by two other men and mercilessly beaten. The video then shows others in the crowd, women included, joining in on the beating. The man's head appears to be stomped multiple times. So there you can see a screenshot of it right there. They are just beating the hell. The man continued to be battered for about 50 seconds before he was helped back onto his feet. But he immediately took a step and fell back down. Several people responded to the help to back the man up. One man could be heard saying, "My man's drunk." The man eventually got back to his feet, and he appeared to be bleeding from his head, nose, and mouth. A woman then appears to rush to the man's aid, and she is then attacked by the crowd. She suffers two brutal blows to the face, which send her slamming down on the pavement. She appears to be knocked unconscious after her head hit the pavement. So let me see if there's a photo of that. I don't think there is, probably for the best. Now, you would think the police would take this rather seriously. You would think the police would view this with the utmost seriousness. Let's watch the police chief. This is after two people are almost seemingly beaten to death. This is what the police chief has to say. Let's go ahead and watch this. You will not believe this.
Another topic I want to cover real quick. Social media.
I'll be right back. I got to grab my phone.
And the role it plays in this incident. And yes, guys, that's you. That is you. Social media, the post that we've seen, does not depict the entire incident. That is one version of what occurred. At times, social media and mainstream media and their commentaries are a misrepresentation of the circumstances surrounding any given event. What that does, that causes us some difficulties in thoroughly investigating the activity and enforcing the law. Because what happens, that social media post and your coverage of it distorts the content of what actually happened. And it makes our job more difficult. Go ahead, right here.
Thank you. Two questions. Where were the nearest officers?
In the central business section. They were working. They were both in vehicles. And like I said, they had to maneuver through the traffic.
So this police chief, who I don't know what qualifies her to be the police chief. She doesn't seem very smart. She doesn't seem like she's really plugged into what's going on. She's out here complaining about people sharing the video, which again, I cannot show you on YouTube. She's complaining about people sharing the video. Shouldn't she be a little more upset about the fact two people in Cincinnati were almost beaten within an inch of their life by an angry mob. That's what I would think would be the bigger issue. That's what I would think would draw more of her attention. But this woman decides to get out there and talk about the videos going around and how people shared them. It is so detached from reality. It's like an SNL skit back when SNL used to be funny. It's not at all connected to reality, not even a little bit. Again, this goes back to what I was saying about concealed carry and being able to take care of yourself, being able to defend yourself when necessary. The police do the best they can, and most police officers are good people. There's some bad apples, no question about it. But the reality is this: you've got to be ready to rock and roll when the time comes. And that requires training and situational awareness. You need to know what is around you. You need to know where the threats are. And frankly, it's appalling. Go watch the videos. It is absolutely appalling what happened there. All right, I'm going to get to some questions now, and then we'll get into the Israel stuff. You guys aren't going to want to miss the Israel stuff. Also, bottom of the screen here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, XD Hookstead. Let's see what we've got in the comment section here. I got to scroll up a little bit. You guys are having a huge debate about guns. Here we go. There you go. J-Dub, the mayor of NYC didn't waste time on trying to make it a gun control issue. Yeah, because politicians are sick people. Politicians are sick people who want to exploit every tragedy for what it's worth to them. And God forbid we actually blame the shooter. We want to make it about the guns. I own a lot of guns. They've never shot anybody. They've never once gone off without me or someone else pulling the trigger. It's not about the guns. It's about the person holding them. It is truly that simple. All right, what else we got? We've got a lot of, here we go. Yeah, man. Keegan B. Yeah, man, with a little daughter, a wife, another baby on the way, I have too much to lose to not carry. Luckily, I live in a place I can still do that unhindered. That's good news. And yes, you do have too much. You have a wife, a baby on the way, and a daughter. So yes, you do have too much to lose. So thank you for exercising your Second Amendment rights. The world needs more of it, and the more people who do it, the more the rights are going to spread. William Gold says, I can walk into a bank with a concealed weapon in Vermont as long as I have my concealed carry permit. That's good. I'm all for that. Totally for that. Keep looking up says, thinking of getting my CPL. Get the training, get your CPL, know what you're doing. I believe in gun ownership. I also believe in owning guns responsibly and knowing how to use them. Simply buying one does not make you an expert. You need to put a lot of rounds down range. You got to be in good cardio shape. You got to be able to do more than just pull the trigger, because when you get into a serious engagement, your heart rate's going to go up. You're going to start getting tunnel vision, and you've got to be able to operate in those circumstances. It's not a movie. It is in no way like a movie. And anyone who knows that will tell you that. All right. So keep sending your questions. I'll get them in between subjects. And then again, I always appreciate the super chats. They mean a lot. Let's talk about Israel. Let's talk about everyone's favorite subject. Let me throw this up on the screen. So now, whenever I talk about Israel, people get very angry or very happy. So I will reiterate my stance on all foreign countries for you. I believe I've made my stance perfectly clear. My only priority is the safety, security, and success of the United States of America. every issue I view through the lens of how will this help America? How will this make America better? And if there's countries that can help us do that, I'm all for it. But make no mistake, we do what we need to do to take care of America. And if it helps another country along the way, it's either good for them, they got lucky, or it's a coincidence. But we should never do anything that is not in the sole best interest of the United States of America. And I've been crystal clear about that time and time again. I've been crystal clear that in my view, the United States and our issues have to take the top priority. And what we've seen now in Israel since October 7th is a huge, huge war that started. Upwards of 100,000 people have been killed in a little tiny land strip. It's brutal. There's a lot of bad people involved. I'm not even allowed to say the name of the terrorist organization in Gaza. Otherwise, YouTube penalizes the video. Here's what I have an issue with. People are getting way too comfortable talking in terms that dehumanize people. You shouldn't dehumanize your enemy. You shouldn't dehumanize innocent civilians. It's one of the big mistakes I think people make. And right now in Gaza, we have, and I'm going to show you a video here shortly that broke my heart. We have starving innocent people. We have starving children. Now, we can sit here and debate all day who's responsible for the starving. I will say this, using starvation as an act of war or a military tactic is a war crime. Full stop. End of story. It is a war crime. So anyone who, and we're going to get into that too, because I'm going to show you a banger tweet from the dumbest Republican in all of Congress. Don't take my word for it that there's kids starving in Gaza. And I've got no sympathy for the bad guys. Take them all out as far as I'm concerned. Makes no difference to me. I don't lose sleep over bad guys dying. I think we've gotten to a point, though, where some people are dehumanizing innocent life, and that's not okay. Here's President Donald Trump saying there are, without question, kids starving in Gaza. Let's listen to it.
Role in talking to you about the war in Ukraine and perhaps it being part of your evolution in thinking. Have you discussed the crisis in Gaza and the terrifying, horrific images?
She thinks it's terrible, and she sees the same pictures that you see, and that we all see. And I think everybody, unless they're pretty cold-hearted or worse than that, nuts. There's nothing you can say other than it's terrible when you see the kids. And those are kids, whether they talk starvation or not, those are kids that are starving. They are starving. And you see the mothers, they love them so much, and there's just nothing they seem to be able to do. They got to get them food, and we're going to get them food.
Do you plan to attend the G20's role in talking to you about the war in
So
Ukraine?
that's President Donald Trump right there saying that there are, without question, kids starving in Gaza. I'm going to show you a video now. I want to give you a little bit of a warning. The video in and of itself is not graphic. It is unbelievably sad. It is one of the saddest videos I have ever seen. Let me pull it up here. All right. Do you see this young man? This is from Andrew Fox, former airborne Army officer, now a researcher and Middle East specialist. Do you look at the bottom right of your screen? You're going to see a little boy, looks to be 10 or 11 years old. He's by himself. Watch how sad this video is. He is going to scramble to put food in a bag at an aid drop site. This is a child. This is a child. This is not an adult. This is a little kid who is putting food in a bag as fast as he can and then trying to run away with it so that he makes sure he gets some food. Watch this video and you tell me how you think anyone who has a soul, no matter what side you're on here, this isn't about who you support. This is about innocent children. And it's the same I said on October 7th. when innocent people in Israel died. The loss of innocent life is disgusting. And we should all feel that way. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen. Doesn't mean sometimes it's not unavoidable. This broke my heart. He's going to struggle here to be able to carry this bag, but he's trying to get as much food as he can. And he just runs away barefoot. Can barely carry the thing. The thing weighs as much as he does, probably. And Andrew Fox writing 2 a.m. in Tel Aviv, and I'm awake still processing what I saw in Gaza today. Nothing surprised me or shocked me particularly, but a couple of scenes will stay with me. This one probably most of all. Guys, I don't care whose side you're on. I really don't. I really don't. If that doesn't bother you, if a little boy, 10 or 11 years old, shoving food into a bag and then struggling to carry it away to hopefully feed any siblings he has, his mother, other innocent family members, I don't know how anyone can watch that and not get emotionally moved. We have got to get back to a place of common sense. Bad guys need to go. And I really am not afraid if they all go. Deal with them and get rid of them. We've got children who are now at the point they're shoving food into the bag. They're carrying so much weight, the bag's almost as big as they are. That kid's look on his face was of sheer terror. Did you notice how he kept looking around in hopes that no one was going to take what he had? And I give that kid credit. I'll tell you this, at 11 years old, I couldn't go through that. I absolutely could not be in that situation. But I'm going to see if I can pull this video. I don't know if YouTube will let me play it, but let me see if I can find it. This is a video that has been going viral all over the place. And we're going to see what he says. This is a former lieutenant colonel in the Green Berets who is at one of the drop sites, the similar site you just saw right there. Let's watch what he had to say.
He's in Washington. I spoke to him from a spot just near the Gaza border.
I witnessed the Israeli Defense Forces shooting at the crowds of Palestinians. I witnessed the Israeli Defense Forces firing a main gun tank round from the Merkava tank into a crowd of people, destroying a car of civilians that were simply driving away from the site. I witnessed mortar rounds being fired at the crowds of people to keep them controlled.
As a professional soldier with a very long career, what was your professional opinion of what was happening?
My professional opinion of how the sites were established was what I would describe as amateur, inexperienced, untrained, no idea of how to conduct operations of this magnitude. That would be my most benign assessment. In my most frank assessment, I would say that they're criminal.
So listen, if any of the allegations that this American Green Beret just said, if any of them are true, any of them, they need to be investigated, thoroughly. And if it is true that they willingly opened up on civilians, if an American soldier did that, and got caught, they'd be going straight to prison. And we don't have to wonder because it's happened before. And when U.S. soldiers have been caught doing that, they get put in handcuffs and they get dragged out, and that's the end of it. The United States military disciplines soldiers who commit war crimes unbelievably harshly. And I don't know. You guys tell me. What you think. You guys let me know in the comments. We'll see if there's an investigation. I hope that there is. But I want to talk about this guy. This absolute bozo. I will right now tell you that if Congressman Randy Fine wants to come speak with me, appear here on the show, and talk to me, I'm more than happy to give him a platform. But look at this tweet. He says, release the hostages. Until then, starve away. This is all a lie anyway. It amazes me that the media continues to regurgitate Muslim terror propaganda. President Trump literally went on record and said that the kids are starving. So is Randy Fine saying that the president is lying to us? Randy Fine, in case you don't know, is also morbidly obese. Isn't there something a little ironic, also a little sinister about someone who's massively overweight mocking the fact that there's kids starving? Isn't that weird? Isn't that a little crazy? And I'll end the Israel commentary with this. What happened on October 7th was horrific. And the death of innocent people on October 7th was disgusting, evil, barbaric, no question about it. None whatsoever. But at some point, now in the end of July 2025, we've got to ask, is this strategy working? Is this strategy getting the results we're going for? Is this strategy winning hearts and minds? Because the world powers, the United States, France, England, others, are all saying this has gone on too much. This has gone on too long, too much, too far. Trump has made that clear. The United Kingdom has made that clear. The French have made that clear. And the reality is this. You can get rid of Hamas. You can do it. But in order to do it, you're going to have to do what the United States military did in urban warfare in Iraq. You're going to have to go door to door, street by street, block by block, room to room. And the simple reality is that the Israeli military doesn't have the manpower or the capabilities to do that. So that puts us in a difficult spot. What do you do? Because you've got to get rid of the bad guys, but you're also required by law to take care of innocent civilian life. When you invade an area, you are responsible for all non-combatants in that area. Those are the rules. That's the way war works. When we went into Iraq, the United States was responsible for the civilian population. And that's not me saying that it's an endorsement of the Iraq War. That's how it works. That's how it works. You are responsible for every single non-combatant. You kill or capture the bad guys, and you are obligated and legally required to take care of the non-combatants. This is not the 1940s. People say, well, in World War II, they carpet bombed Dresden. That's true. A lot of innocent people died. Hundreds of thousands of them in Germany. The Soviets lost, upwards of 27 million people total. So there was a lot of civilian death. And then we all got together and said, you know what? We're not going to do that again. We're not going to do that again. So Israel's in a tough spot because they've got to figure out a way to eliminate the threat. They're legally required to take care of innocent life. The president of the United States is openly stating kids are starving. Randy Fine, who apparently eats very well, says, no, they're not. The president must be wrong. So who do you trust more? And as an American, all I care about is doing what's best for America. Do you guys know what blowback theory is? Blowback theory. Who are you guys saying I got to block? Do I got to block someone? If there's someone I need to block, let me know in the comments right now, and the old block finger will come out. We'll hit them. I'm watching like a hawk now. If someone wants to get got, just let me know, and I'll take care of business. You guys know that I don't play that game whatsoever. So it's all terrible. It's all terrible. And we as Americans should be asking ourselves, what are we doing that is benefiting America? How is this helping America? Is it helping America? Again, the president, Donald Trump, says there's starving children. Is starving children helping America? But anyways, blowback theory. Let's talk about that real quick. I don't know what that is. All right. You guys want me to block these people? If you want me to block these idiots, you let me know and I'll light them up right now. Blowback theory, for you guys who don't know, is something that was coined by the CIA. It's pretty simple. It's if you kill bad guys in a way that alienates the local population, you're going to create new bad guys. And then for everyone you kill, you're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new bad guys. And now all of a sudden, you're just in a never-ending spiral of fighting new bad guys. You've got to win wars in a smart way. You got to win. This is not the 1940s. There are rules. There are international laws. There is the Geneva Convention. All right, so you guys want me to get rid of this? All right, so is this the guy that we're getting rid of? We're getting rid of Ray. Am I getting rid of Ray? I'll leave it up to the chat. You want me to get rid of Ray? We can fire him off right now. You want to be an idiot? You want to come in here and pick fights? You're not even listening to what I'm saying. You're not even listening to what I'm saying. All right, he's gone. He's gone forever. Would anyone else like to step up to the plate and see how being an idiot? By the way, you're all welcome to disagree with me. You guys are free to disagree with me all you want. I love disagreement. But if you're going to disagree, bring your side of the argument. Don't just throw a fit in the comments and then expect me to sit here and that's the end of that. I love a good debate. I love a great debate. So if there's someone else I need to get rid of, you guys just let me know in the comments and we'll get rid of them. No hesitation. No hesitation from here at all. So in closing, the way I look at it is very simple. We are Americans. It is our duty as Americans to do what is best for America. And if that helps other countries along the way, I'm all for it. But my priority is not dealing with countries in Europe, Africa, the Middle East, Asia, or anywhere else. And if Israel wants to conduct a war in a way they want to do it, and the U.S. says this is unacceptable, they're starving kids, then they can give us all our stuff back and don't take another dime and then go fight the war however you want. But if you guys disagree, I'd love to hear, and that'd be fine. I'm open to disagreeing. And in case anyone is going to try to clip this deceptively and try to act like I said something I didn't, I made it crystal clear what happened on October 7th was terrible. Israel has every right to go kill bad guys. Nobody's arguing with that. Nobody's arguing with that. At least nobody rational is arguing with that. However, there are limits to everything. The rules of war apply. International law applies. You don't just, it's not a la carte. It's not a cafeteria. You don't just get to pick and choose. And I'll tell you this much. I am damn proud of the way that our military handled themselves in Iraq and Afghanistan, handing out food, protecting civilian life, hunting down people that were hurting civilians. It's possible. It just takes a lot of sacrifice, takes a lot of effort, and it's going to result in people getting, your own people getting put on the line. So that's the way I see it. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments. Now we can move to some more lighthearted stuff. We're going to get into the anti-hero. I'm going to just briefly reference something from the anti-hero. Let me make sure I got the timestamp here correctly. I'm going to share this. Let me throw this up on the screen. So I made a video earlier today about Tim and his, his claims about hunting Zarqawi and all that stuff. I'm just briefly going to play this. Number one, can we all give a round of applause for the Anti-Hero podcast? They just dropped the 3rd episode about Tim Kennedy. I thought it was a great episode, just more diving into the claims about his book and more diving in to the claims that were going on over there. And let me pull this up. Let me make sure I've got the correct timestamp. I do. So let's watch this. This story blew me away. And Brent deserves a ton of credit for putting in the legwork to figure it out. Let's go ahead and watch this.
I have the highest individual score in the class. My partner is the lowest. He's a great guy, but he is absolutely not a natural sniper. Doesn't have the right temperament to train himself to be one, and is dealing with post-traumatic stress.
What a crappy thing to say about a guy, and then to say that a guy quit. You want to know what happened to Bradley Keys? You think he quit? You think a Green Beret quit sniper school?
It doesn't sound like it.
No, he didn't quit sniper school. He graduated that sniper school. But here's the reason. You want to know what happened when I tried to reach out to Bradley Keys to see what really happened in this story?
Oh God, don't tell me. The same MO as all of his stories?
What do you think happened to Bradley Keys?
Is he not with us anymore?
He died in a training halo accident.
I mean, how did I guess? I mean, I'm just saying, I went to that because of all of his stories can't be.
Or there's no rebuttal to it.
Yeah, because the other person can't.
So it gets weirder. So when he talks about the stock.
So right there, they talk about how this figure in the sniper school that gets painted as a terrible, terrible sniper, terrible at his job, and is more or less holding Tim back. Brent can't get in touch with him. Why can't Brent get in touch with him? Because he's no longer alive, which means he can't defend himself against any of the allegations or the picture that's been painted or the information that's out there about him. It just keeps getting crazier and crazier. I hope, I don't know if they will. I don't have any inside information. I haven't heard anything from Tyler or Brent. I hope the Afghanistan withdrawal episode is coming. I covered it a little bit in my full investigation, but we shall see if it is. I'm keeping an eye on the chat here. I want to make sure no one's being an idiot after you guys flagged that one guy. Let me grab a quick drink of water. It's just the never ending nonsense. It's just one story after another that just simply doesn't add up. And it's just crazy to me that we found ourselves in this situation with a guy who's America's most famous veteran. So I want to know what you guys think on that specifically. I'll be curious to see what you guys have to say. And we got a super chat. Madman 26, $5. Thank you very much. The American eugenics movement was 100% leftist Democrats. I'll look into that. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't researched it, so I don't want to make a claim one way or the other. But I know this: Sydney Sweeney is not a pro-eugenics person. She's not a Nazi. It's insane to me anyone would believe that. It's insane to me anyone would think that would even be possible. But there's a lot of stupid people in the world, and as we're learning, stupidity is contagious. Wait, I've never seen this. This is from Jasmine Rose. I love Jasmine. I always see her in the chat. Great in the chat. Awfuls means affluent white female liberals. Yeah, that's true. I've never heard that saying before. Who coined that? That's a genius saying. Affluent white female liberals. That is hilarious. Listen, I unfortunately, due to some areas I have to spend time in, have to deal with some affluent white liberal women. They're all terrible. Or at least I haven't met one who's not terrible yet. They are arrogant. They have no idea how the world works. Most of them have their dad's Amex card, and you can spot them coming from a mile away. Here's a great thing I'll say. You know how you'll have a couple buddies. Your friend group will be diverse. You'll have, maybe there's a Mexican guy. Maybe there's a dude, a couple combat vets, dark humor. You'll say a joke. Everyone loves the joke. And then some white woman, rich white lady who went to, Georgetown, for example, who wasn't even involved in the conversation, she'll get offended on everyone else's behalf. I've seen that happen too many times to count. These people suck. I mean, they are the worst of the worst. And those are the people leading the charge to cancel Sydney Sweeney because they're jealous of Sydney Sweeney. That's all it is. It's just jealousy. It's just jealousy. Let's not beat around the bush. They're jealous, and it's who they are at their core. So that's where we are at the anti-hero update. Let me throw this on the screen. You guys asked for some alien content. I've got some alien content for you here. Are we going to be attacked by aliens in the coming months? Are aliens going to show up in November or December and fight us here on Earth? Well, this is very interesting. This is Outkick.com. A small group of scientists believes that it's possible an unknown object floating towards Earth could actually be hostile aliens, according to the New York Post. The research published a paper on July 16th on the preprint server ARXIV, warning that big issues with the object might be looming on the horizon. The study states the consequences, should the hypothesis, aliens with hostile intent, turn out to be correct, could potentially be dire for humanity. So here we go. Hypothesis, this object could be technological and possibly hostile, as would be expected from dark force resolution to the Fermi paradox. And then down here, where is it again? It goes, I'll highlight this. If the hypothesis about a technological artifact ends up being correct. So for those of you who don't know, there's a big object moving towards Earth. Could be a big space rock. They don't know. There's a Harvard astrophysicist and then an astrophysicist group that is studying it who says its movements don't resemble, space rock. It could be an alien spacecraft. So I know you guys wanted some more alien content. So here we go. It says, if the hypothesis about a technological artifact ends up being correct, then there are two possible implications. First, that the intentions of 3i Atlas are entirely benign. And the second, that they are malign, so hostile. In the first case, humanity needs not do anything but await the arrival of this interstellar messenger with open arms. It is the second option which is of great concern. Given the dramatic implications of the second possibility, we can apply the logic of Pascal's wager that suggests it is more rational to believe in God's existence than not. The insight offered by the mathematician Blaise Pascal was the potential benefits of believing, in our case, alerting humanity of what's coming, far outweigh the potential losses. In our case, a theoretical idea that does not describe reality, while the potential losses of not believing are far greater. So the argument they're making is an object is barreling towards Earth. If it turns out it's aliens and we believe that they're good and they show up and turn out to be bad, we're going to be caught off guard, right? We're not going to be ready for that. If we prepare for them to be bad and they get here, we might have a fighting chance. This object is supposed to get near Earth's orbit in November or December, according to the report. That's when it's supposed to get here. So you guys let me know in the chat. Do you believe that it is aliens that are coming? Do you believe that aliens will have an invasion? Are we about to be in an intergalactic war? Will we soon be fighting aliens on our front yards? I don't know. But I'll tell you this much. If it is aliens, we're probably going to be in the fight for our life. Because if aliens have the technology to get here, they certainly have the technology to kick shit up. That's just, that's not, I'm not saying that to scare anyone, but you guys wanted alien content. Well, lo and behold, here we are a week later, and it turns out aliens might be getting here in November. But actually, let me know in the comments, do you guys believe in aliens or not? What do you think UFOs are? Personally, I think UFOs are a mixture of drones, classified military technology, and then things we truly cannot explain. It's obviously that third category, things we truly cannot explain, that is the most concerning category of them all. Hopefully, if the aliens get here, they turn out to be really nice. Maybe they're attractive women. Maybe they're really good college football players. I don't know, but they could maybe figure out a way to benefit what we already got going. But not good. If aliens show up, we could be in a world of hurt. But let me know in the comments what you think. We just got a couple videos to go through, and then we're going to call it a day. I'll answer some questions at the end. If you got super chats, go ahead and send them in now, and I will answer them. So this is President Donald Trump roasting the media. Here we go.
Thank you, everybody, and thank you to the media. The media's been terrific, believe it or not. I didn't use the word fake news one time, not one time. Today, they're not fake news. Today, they're wonderful news. But I just want to thank you. They've treated us really well, and they respect what we've done really at a level that you rarely see nowadays. So I really very much appreciate.
So Trump is saying for once the media, you guys want me to talk about the South Park episode? Are you asking me to talk about the South Park episode with Trump? I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. I think it's okay to laugh at people you like. I voted for Trump, but at the end of the day, every comedian should make fun of people in power because people in power should be made fun of. We live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic, right? Where you vote for your representatives who then go off to the government and should look out for your interest. So I have no problem with what South Park did. I saw the preview for the upcoming South Park, and I thought that also looks hilarious. It looks like they're going to make fun of Charlie Kirk, which I cannot wait to see. But on Trump roasting the media, you can say a lot of things about President Donald Trump. A lot of things can be said about Donald Trump. The one thing you can't say is that he's not absolutely hilarious. The dude is the funniest man to have ever been president. By far. And I think he's absolutely hysterical. And for him to be looking the media in the face and say, I didn't even call him fake news today, like it's a huge accomplishment, is pretty funny. Let's just be honest about it. Speaking of Trump, I'm going to throw this up on the screen here. I got to find where it is. Should be right about 105, it says. Hold on. I got to see if I can find this. Okay, here we go. I got it. I'm going to share this tab. This is Trump talking about the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. He was asked if he's learned any more about it. Let's listen to what he had to say.
She had no complaints about us, as you know, none whatsoever.
We've seen how good your security detail is this weekend, and the team around you are amazing.
Good job.
Amazing. Do you have any answers yet as to what happened with the assassination attempt? Having seen them in action, it seems remarkable that was
You mean the assassination with they just weren't as good that day. They had a bad day. They shouldn't have had a roof that was, unpatrolled. They should have had coordination with the local police because, you had a lot of talk going on. You had the woman screaming, "There's a man up there with a gun." And a number of people were screaming, "There's a guy up there with a gun." And they didn't have, the one group wasn't hooked into the other group. I'll tell you, the Secret Service shooter, David, was amazing because in 4 seconds, it was over. And if this lunatic was allowed to keep shooting, because they had a lot of tens of thousands of people there, so a lot of people could have been killed. I mean, we lost a great person and 2 people very badly injured. But the shooter, one bullet, think of that, one bullet from a very far distance.
So that is Trump right there talking about how he's, other than to say that it was just a bad day for the Secret Service. Yeah, I would say it was a bad day. Trump almost got unalived on national TV in front of the entire world. And it's crazy, more than a year later, we don't really have any answers about it. It's absolutely nuts to me that here we are a year later and nobody has any idea what the hell happened. All right, last one, then I'll take some questions, and then I'm going to hop out of here. I'm going to throw this up on the stage. I want your guys' opinion on my haircut. So this was a comment. This was a comment on my YouTube. It says, "My man, grow your hair back out. Not sure if your hair is shorter or if the forehead is growing. You are a few genes away in appearance from a beluga whale. Love the show, big man." So apparently I look like a beluga whale, but he loves the show. Well, I appreciate that. B-Reen 490. Very nice of you. You guys, let me know in the comments right now. I'll show you a side view. What do you guys think of the haircut? What do you guys think of the haircut? Let me know. I'm paying attention. Let me know what you think of the haircut. I'm going to read the funniest comments. The funniest comments I'll throw up on the screen. Give me a second. All right, what do we got? What do we got here? We've got hair is S tier. Is that good or bad? Is hair being S tier good or bad? William, I appreciate this. I'm just having fun with it. I like my hair. I'm not going to change it. But he says, do you, man. Don't let anybody else tell you how to look, man. That's for kids. We care about your personality and your content. I appreciate that. We got Sean says it's looking sharp. Jay's saying mega mind looking. Named it says pick the haircut Shelby likes most and go with it. Well, she is my fiance, so she does get a vote. I don't know if I'll rock hair this short during the wedding. Probably not. I do need to trim my beard though, because I can't have a beard this long with hair this short. So it says save your hairstyle and get a mohawk. S tier is the best one above A. Shelby is currently hanging out with one of her closest friends, who is also a phenomenal White House correspondent and who will probably be a major part of the wedding. She will, I assume, well, maybe I shouldn't say that, but she'll be a major part of the wedding. Shelby's friend will be. She's a very close friend, great woman. They're getting some girl time together right now. What else we got? Jay says now he feels bad. Don't feel bad. Eddie says I look more masculine. Do I look more masculine? Guys, nothing you can say will ever offend me. All right, we'll set a timer for a few more minutes. We'll do 5 more minutes, and I'll answer any questions you got. Let's just hang out for a little bit, cut it up, chat it up. Let me know what's going on, and I'll answer. Sean says that I need a handlebar mustache. If I had a handlebar mustache, Shelby might not agree to marry me anymore. I don't know if Shelby would love that one very much. Someone says, as long as I don't have any face tattoos, you're good. Yeah, I'm not getting my face tattooed. That much I can promise you. You will never see me with a face tattoo. That's a guarantee. It is crazy. We started this episode talking about the woke mob, talking about Sydney Sweeney and attacking her for being an attractive, blonde, blue-eyed, good-looking white woman with a build that plays well for advertising. Let's not lie about it. We jumped to the shooting in New York. We talked about the war in Israel. I mean, we were all over the place today. That's what makes this so fun. That's what makes you guys coming in and hanging out so much fun. And I really enjoy all the time we get to spend with each other. It is a blast. What else we got? Someone in the chat is claiming Sydney Sweeney is a 5 out of 10. That is simply not true. Jasmine saying she looks great and people need to leave her alone. I agree. They do need to leave her alone. It's crazy that anyone thinks otherwise. It's an advertisement. People are out of their minds. They're just out of their minds, and they're not living in the real world. William says, I don't think any woman wants to lay next to a man with a handlebar mustache. Well, I don't know about any woman, but I doubt Shelby does. That's just my guess. Hold on. What do we got here? All right. What else we got? You got anything else? Well, you guys let me know what you think about the Tuesday lives. You guys let me know if you're enjoying doing this. I'm certainly enjoying doing this. I think it's been a blast getting to know all you guys. Jasmine saying 5 out of 10 is crazy. She's an 8 fresh out of bed. Yeah, here's the thing. Anyone who thinks that Sydney Sweeney is a 5 out of 10, if Sydney Sweeney walked up to them in a bar and asked if they wanted to hang out, they would leave in a heartbeat. They would leave in a heartbeat. People are delusional. I don't know what world they're living in. I don't know what they are paying attention to, but they are absolutely delusional if they honestly believe that. Topics for next Tuesday. Well, we're going to have to figure that out because Tuesday's still a week away. I don't know what's going to be going on between now and then. We shall see. I'm sure we'll come up with some good stuff. If you guys have good topic ideas, feel free to hit me up on Instagram or Twitter with your suggestions. I'm always open to suggestions. The other thing I will say is that I am, oh, wow. Someone just sent me this. Is this, hold on. I'm going to play this real quick. Someone just sent me this. This is nuts. I'm going to throw this up on the screen. We'll call this the end then. Eric Adams, Jasmine, I did cover the shootings. Yes, it was earlier in the show, but actually I just got sent this. Let's watch this video.
We cannot respond to senseless gun laws through vigils. It must be responded through legislation. It is time to turn the corner of a society where automatic weapons are as easy to get as a cell phone.
So Eric Adams, the mayor of New York, apparently thinks getting automatic weapons is as easy as getting a cell phone. Uh-oh. What just happened? I don't know what just happened there. StreamYard is glitching out. If you think getting an automatic weapon is as easy as getting a cell phone, you're an idiot. There is no other way to sum it up. You're an idiot. So he's an idiot. It is incredibly difficult to get an automatic weapon in the United States. You can do it. There's legal avenues to do it for sure. It can be done. It is not as easy. I can walk down the street right now and buy a cell phone. Do you have any idea the amount of paperwork, the wait time? You have the National Firearms Act. It is incredibly difficult to get your hands on an automatic weapon, and it's incredibly expensive. So there you go. That just goes to prove Eric Adams is an absolute moron. But anyways, guys, I think that this has been a ton of fun. As always, I enjoy hanging out with y'all. You guys let me know what you think. Keep the comments rolling in. I love y'all. This is a blast. I will say, so we will have a show this upcoming Tuesday, which will be, let me look at the calendar. We're going to have a show on August 5th. Okay, we'll have a show on August 5th. We will not have a show on August 12th. The following Tuesday, they will not have a show on August 12th. I will be in Las Vegas on a little bit of an R&R trip. I'll be in Las Vegas. If you got any good Las Vegas recommendations, let me know. I can't wait to check it out. I mean, I've been to Vegas many times. Can't wait to go back. But so we'll have a show on the 5th of August. There won't be a show on the 12th of August. But you guys let me know if there's anything you think I should really check out in Vegas, and I'll go check it out. But anyways, guys, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks for tuning in as always. And I will catch you all later. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate you guys watching. The shows are great. I'll let you all go. Thanks for tuning in. Spread the word. Get your friends to watch. And I'll catch you all later. Have a great Tuesday night and the rest of your week.